Hey, welcome to today's presentation, and we're going to be talking about how to lose stubborn belly fat and what is actually going to work for you. It's a very, very common thing where people struggle to lose body fat in a certain area. Now, we're not just going to talk about just belly fat, but we're going to talk about losing stubborn body fat in any specific area of the body, the truth about it, the truth about spot reduction, and how we can finally reveal your kind of definition, that athletic look that we're looking for. So why does body fat and belly fat in particular seem to be impossible to lose? Well, it's a common frustration. You train hard, you eat healthy food, yet your stubborn belly fat and stubborn body fat can persist, while other areas tend to respond a little bit better. This isn't a sign of failure in the slightest. It is a bit of a predictable pattern, and we're going to uncover precisely why this happens, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. That's the most important thing, isn't it? Can we sort it? So the harsh truth about spot reduction, first and foremost, you cannot target fat loss, unfortunately. Despite what fitness adverts claim and fitness gurus claim, you simply cannot burn body fat from one specific area of your body through targeted exercises. So you can't burn body fat by doing sit-ups, for example. Crunches will not flatten your stomach. So doing endless crunches will strengthen your abdominals, they'll strengthen your core, but it won't preferentially reduce body fat covering them. We need to reveal that body fat in a different way. And your body generally decides where you lose body fat from first. So your genetics and your hormonal makeup determines where your body loses body fat from, not the exercise selection or wishful thinking. So yes, that is annoying as hell. I know it is. It really is. But understanding this first and foremost will save you months of wasted time and wasted effort on ineffective kind of targeted fat burning exercises, programs, that kind of stuff. So it's just getting our head around this kind of concept initially. So I want you to think about even, and I'm going to use the bathtub analogy here right now. So think of body fat like water in a bathtub. The simple visualization can really change how you perceive fat loss, okay? So think about it this way. You cannot drain water from one corner of the tub. It is physically impossible to get a glass and scoop water out of the tub in the corner. You won't just drop the water level in that corner. It drops the water level throughout the whole bathtub, doesn't it? So when you pull the plug, the whole water level drops evenly. It drops together across that entire bathtub. So fat loss works in exactly the same way. The overall body fat percentage decreases proportionally, not from isolated areas. So you'll lose body fat overall, but it won't be from one specific area of your body. So to lose belly fat, for example, specifically, you must reduce total body fat until your body finally mobilizes that stubborn area and it burns body fat from that area, which it will do over time. If your genetics are kind of playing hardball and they're saying, right, I'm not going to lose it from there until last, then you just have to be in a deficit slowly, surely, and eventually it will start going from that area, okay? Now, why belly fat sticks around longer than other areas? Some areas are simply more stubborn than others. It could be your belly, it could be your hips, it could be your thighs, it could be your arms. You know, there's different areas of the body that people have that generally are a bit more stubborn than other areas to lose body fat from. And it's not uncommon, honestly. Every single person has this in one particular area of the body. Your DNA determines where you store fat first, and crucially, where you lose fat from last. That's the frustrating thing, isn't it? This is why everyone's fat loss journey looks a bit different. Everyone's journey looks a bit different. The common stubborn areas are generally, for most people anyway, it will be stomach, hips, thighs, lower back, that kind of thing. For men, it can tend to be abdominal fat, whilst women tend to find hips and thigh fat a bit more persistent. And the biological reason for this is that stubborn fat has fewer blood vessels and different receptor densities. So this makes fat mobilization a lot slower. The body literally finds it harder to access this fat for energy because it has fewer blood vessels in. So that, again, is just, there is an actual reason why it takes longer in certain areas of the body to other. And it's not impossible to get rid of body fat in these areas. It's just a little bit slower than you would like, essentially. So this isn't a life sentence at all. It simply requires more time, greater consistency, and lower overall body fat levels before you'll see the changes in these areas. So I know it's a boring answer, but it's just being patient, being persistent with it. So the science of fat loss here, and I'm sure you know this, but I'm going to go over it again. To lose body fat, you need one thing above all, and that is a calorie deficit. So regardless of the diet you follow or the training program you choose, fat loss boils down to this fundamental principle. You must burn more energy than you consume over time. So every successful fat loss approach, it could be keto, it could be intermittent fasting, could be flexible dieting, they all achieve results through the mechanism of calorie deficit. So nutrition is the primary driver of this. This is the primary driver of a calorie deficit. You cannot outtrain a poor diet. You need to have good nutrition. Movement is next up. So we've got nutrition, then movement. Training sessions, daily steps, an active lifestyle, they all contribute to burning more calories, so your total energy expenditure. And then you have patience as well. So sustainable fat loss requires a bit of patience. It takes time. So rushing the process will lead to muscle loss, which means you will slow down your metabolism, which is what we don't want. We want a nice fast metabolism. And if you go too fast with a fat loss journey, you will rebound. I'm pretty much guarantee 99.9% of people rebound if they go too fast. So don't be that person. Make sure you are taking it steady, taking it easy, and you'll never have to go through a heavy dieting period ever again, okay? Remember this, you cannot out-crunch a calorie surplus. You cannot out-exercise a calorie surplus. A single chocolate bar can contain more calories than an hour of ab exercises. However, I'm not demonizing chocolate there. I just want you to kind of get into your head that that's kind of what we're looking at here. So if you have 5 chocolate bars one day, it's going to take a long time for that kind of body fat to come off. So you can have 1 chocolate bar a day if it fits in your calorie deficit. Of course you can, but just be aware they're slightly higher in calories, aren't they? So it might take a bit longer to burn off. That's all. Exercise still matters, okay? Sculpt your body. Don't just burn calories. While exercise won't spot reduce the areas that we're after, so if you do crunches, you won't burn belly fat. If you do loads of squats, it won't burn body fat on your legs. But what it will do is it will build the physique you want whilst you're doing a sustainable fat loss phase. So it preserves muscle tissue during a calorie deficit, which means it protects your metabolism, which means you burn more calories watching Netflix. Amazing. That is a cheat code, isn't it? The more muscle you have, you boost your metabolism, making fat loss easier to maintain and achieve, and it will reveal a more athletic physique underneath the body fat. So as you drop the body fat, like abs for example, you will be able to reveal them because you're dropping body fat on your stomach, and your abs, if you keep training them, will come to the fore, and that's great. So as your overall body fat levels decrease, you'll reveal the muscle tissue underneath if we are lifting, and it's obviously got loads of other benefits like increased bone density. It's great for functional movements, but if you're looking from an aesthetic standpoint, it's really useful as well. Now, core training done right. So if you want abs, this is kind of what we're getting at on this this lesson here today. If you want abs and you want a flat stomach, train your core, but it needs to be for function and for strength, not for fat burning. So effective core training builds underneath the layers of body fat that we currently have, and we focus on those movements to continue strengthening that area, then with a good level of calorie expenditure in terms of exercise like cardio, etc., and calorie deficit with the nutrition that you eat, you will start to reveal those abs. So things like planks, leg raises, hanging knee raises, cable crunches, these kind of things, even ab rollouts if you're quite advanced with your core strength. These things are going to really help develop that area of the body, and then when you're burning body fat there, those abs will really come to the fore. Now, nutrition is the deciding factor though, isn't it? You cannot outtrain a poor diet, you cannot outtrain poor nutrition. Training builds the physique, nutrition reveals the physique. The good news is you don't need extreme restriction. We don't need to eliminate foods that we love. We don't need to be miserable. We don't need to be eating just chicken and broccoli. We don't need to do this. Sustainable fat loss comes from consistent, sensible nutritional habits. So the 80-20 rule. So I'm going back to the chocolate bar here a little bit here, but I want you to aim for 80% whole nutrient-dense foods, 20% for foods that you genuinely enjoy. Chocolate, you can fit chocolate in, you can fit crisps in moderation. Yes, we can have 20 bags of crisps and expect to be in amazing shape, but you can have 1 bag of crisps every day if you want it, if it fitted into your calories, you know? So we need that balance. What that balance does, it prevents you from crashing and burning every single weekend if you restrict yourself so much during the week. I want you to prioritize your protein daily, okay? I want you to hit your protein target every single day. This keeps you fuller for longer, it preserves muscle mass during fat loss, and has a higher thermic effect. So as you digest protein, you actually burn more calories. Unbelievable. Boost your metabolism. Another cheat code there. Eat more protein. And then weekend awareness. This is where most people slip up a little bit. Watch your weekend calories a bit more carefully. Simply put, they can completely undo 5 days of good work in just a day and a half, which is crazy, isn't it? So a couple of untracked meals can erase your weekly deficit faster than you would think. So just be aware of those weekend calories, okay? And a few lifestyle habits that are going to accelerate any kind of fat loss goals you have. So beyond training and nutrition, these are often lifestyle factors can dramatically influence your rate of progress. So better quality sleep, get 7+ hours a night would be great. You know, sleep deprivation increases hunger hormones, it reduces insulin sensitivity, and it significantly increases cravings for high calorie food. So when you're tired, not only do you make worse decisions because your brain's tired, you've actually got some things going against you in terms of hormonal imbalances and insulin sensitivity. activity, okay? So things like that aren't really going in your favor if you don't get enough sleep. Manage your stress effectively. So chronic elevated stress levels will really increase cortisol within the body. It makes losing body fat much harder, particularly around your midsection. So some stress reduction practices will really help. Hit your daily step target. As simple as that. It's low effort, has massive impact on your body. This non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT as it's known as, burns substantial calories without the stress of formal workouts, without the high impact of formal workouts. And then consistency. Consistency wins. It's the boring answer to everything, but if you're consistent with it, if you show up imperfectly, you're going to win every single time. Show up when you don't feel like it, you will win every single time. It's simple as that. So what stubborn really means, okay? Now, stubborn doesn't necessarily mean impossible. It just means it's going to be a little bit slower in that area. So it takes a bit of patience. You can lose body fat there. There's no biological barrier to it. It typically reduces after other areas do. So follow your body's natural pattern a little bit. I hold it on my hips more than anything. Okay, that's the last place it goes for me. It just takes a bit more kind of patience and time for it to go in that area for myself personally. Maintain your calorie deficit and train consistently. Your body will eventually use it for fuel, and it will get to those areas and use that body fat for fuel. Now, most people quit when progress stalls. You ain't going to do that. You're going to persist, and you're going to break through that plateau. So trust the process, and if you have patience, it will pay off. So your action plan to start losing some stubborn body fat, okay? Focus on total fat loss first. So kind of like abandon the idea that you can spot reduce body fat. Your goal is reducing overall body fat percentage. Hit your daily target, so that's your calorie target, your protein target. Consistency here for 80% of the time. Strength train regularly. We need to build that muscle tissue up. We need to increase your metabolism that way. It's going to really benefit your fat loss goals. Optimize your lifestyle, so prioritize sleep, implement stress management, accumulate daily steps consistently, and give it time. Sustainable fat loss takes months, not weeks, so your body will respond. Just trust the process and stay consistent with it. So fat loss is global, isn't it? It's not local. You cannot just drain from one corner of the bath, but if you stay consistent even with your calorie deficit, with your strength training, with those lifestyle optimization habits, the water will go down in one area, will go down, throughout the whole bathtub eventually, and that will overall help you look more athletic, look leaner, look more defined, and you're going to be in a fantastic position. You will feel fantastic with it. So the results will show. They're not going to show overnight, not next week, but they will show. Keep working on pulling that plug. Your body doesn't defy physics, okay? So stay consistent with it, and the transformation will come. So hopefully that has helped you kind of get your head around the fact around spot target reduction. You cannot do it, but stubborn body fat areas can be under control if we just stay persistent with it. So hopefully, guys, that's helped. If you have any questions at all, give me a shout. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next video. Take care.